What is going on, everybody? Crazy Dog back with my Browns Ravens Week 2 game preview as our 0-1 Cleveland Browns hit the road for the first time this season as they travel to Baltimore, Maryland to face off against the also 0-1 Baltimore Ravens. Now, we all saw what happened with the Browns, right? They lost by 1 point because our kicker decided to be a bum at the absolute worst time possible. I mean, come on, man. Not only did he miss an extra point, but the defense got us the ball back. The offense moved us down the field into field goal range. This dude missed essentially a chip shot for a professional kicker, right? If you consider yourself an NFL caliber kicker, that should have been easy money. But nope, nope, it's not. And it's funny because in my stream, I was talking about the Bermuda Triangle and how kicking into the dog pound is always very tough, no matter who it is. Sure enough, the go ahead kick was going into the dog pound. And of course, he missed it. Man, those damn winds do not care who is kicking. They will get whoever it is. They don't care. They don't have an allegiance. Mother Nature has no allegiance. She don't give a damn who it is. That's why Phil Dawson was so good, man. He always adjusted the way he kicked based off of the wind and stuff. They have a flag in the corner of the freaking stadium, essentially called the Dawson flag. That's good for not tells kickers like where the wind is going. I don't even think the wind was a factor. Dude just straight up whiffed on it. And the worst thing about that last kick was it looked like it was going to sneak past the right upright. And then at the very last possible second, it veered to the right. That ball legit said, psych, not today, buddy. I think I could hear the ball laughing as it veered to the right, trolling the hell out of Browns fans. Off the foot, it looked like it was going to be good. And then it just veered to the right. Of course. And you thought that was excruciatingly painful. The Ravens said, hold my beverage. Because for what seems like the 1 millionth time in recent memory, the Ravens blew a rather large lead to lose. In fact, as of late, the Ravens have made it a habit of blowing large leads in a rather painfully short amount of time. Just look at this graphic. Now you'll notice this graphic spans quite a ways. And you'll notice also the Browns are on there a couple times, twice from the same game. Yeah, that 24-9 and 31-17, that was from the same game back in 2023, I believe. And of course, we all saw how that game ended, right? Deshaun Watson with a bad shoulder and a low-key bum ankle as well led the Browns down the field late in the game to get us into field goal range for Dustin Hopkins to nail the game winner. And since then, Dustin, honestly, I bet you Dustin would have hit that kick on Sunday for us. Yep. I bet you he would have hit it. We just have the worst luck when it comes to kickers. Some people say it's the Phil Dawson curse. Oh, how is it a curse? Well, it's simple, really. We got rid of Phil Dawson when he wanted to be here his entire career. So if you want to thank anybody, thank Joe Banner for that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so the Ravens definitely have a problem when it comes to choking leads. In fact, you can tell that they are born from the Browns because if there's one thing the Browns love to do, even back then, they love to just kick their fans in the balls. And yeah, you could tell the Ravens have a tiny bit of the Browns' DNA in them. Hmm. That's tough, man. And look at the scores of some of those games. Gee whiz. The freaking Ravens scored 40 points and lost. That's tough. So you know what that means, right, guys? That means on Sunday, in their home opener, where I believe they will be celebrating their 30th anniversary this year. They're gonna be extra pissed off. And they're probably gonna try to make an example out of us. Right? Coming off an excruciatingly painful loss to the Bills. And of course, you're welcoming a division rival, essentially the team that you were born from, to your house. And of course, Joe Flacco is the starting quarterback for your opponent on Sunday. Just so happens to be your rival. Yeah, they're going to be extra pissed. They're going to try to make an example out of us. I can already tell you. Now, before I dig into this game, I do have some other things to go over. First, I got an update on Jack Conklin. This came out yesterday, and I quote from Daryl Ryder. Browns head coach Kevin Stefanski said right tackle Jack Conklin is doing much, much better after getting poked in the eye yesterday on Sunday. So my dude got poked in the eye and he was essentially out for the game. Damn. What'd they do? Freaking gouge his eye out or something? Sheesh. They had me thinking it was a concussion. My dude got poked in the eye. Ew. Good to see he's doing better though. Then we got this. Honestly, this is pretty good to see for Greg Newsome. From Daniel Oifusi, and I quote, strong start for Browns cornerback Greg Newsome II in his return to outside corner. Of course, MJ Emerson's out for the year, so Greg's probably going to be the outside corner for the whole year, which that's good for him because that's where he excels. He was matched up with Bengals star Jamar Chase for 10 of his 24 routes and didn't allow a reception on 2 targets, 1 DPI per at Next Gen Stats. That's pretty impressive. Now, is it, dance worthy? I mean, he at least didn't get embarrassed, right? It's a low key dance worthy little stat. Yeah, you can do a little jig on that one, yeah, pretty good. Did pretty good, except for the DPI, but still. Then we got this. And if you want a stat that'll piss you off, that's what I'll do right here. Also from Daniel Oifusi on Twitter, and I quote, from ESPN Research, the Browns held the Bengals to 7 yards in the second half. Yeah, that's not a typo. The defense dominated the Bungles offense in the second half. And somehow, someway, we still freaking lost. Thanks a lot, kicker. Kicker whose last name rhymes with a swear word. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, of course. This is what really gets me. It's the fewest yards in the second half by a winning team in the last 25 years. So, in essence, The Bungles couldn't move the ball worth a damn and they still won simply because our kicker, one, couldn't hit an extra point, and two, missed what essentially was a chip shot for professional kickers. If you consider yourself an NFL caliber kicker, that kick should have been easy money. I don't even think it was windy at all, right? I don't think so. This dude still missed it. Now, one thing you got to remember is on that drive, I believe the play before the field goal, Joe Flacco got sacked. They were, I believe, at the Bungle 12-yard line, right around there. So if he doesn't get sacked, maybe if they just run the ball like they should have, maybe they break it, get inside the 5, even more clock. Maybe they win the game. But no, Flacco gets sacked. They end up kicking the field goal, and he missed. Never ends. Then here's the real kicker. Cleveland outgained Cincinnati 327 to 141 and doubled up on first downs 22 to 11 in the 1-point loss. You also got to think if the Browns defense had played like this in the first half, this wouldn't have even been a game. Right? You know, it took the defense a little while to wake up, and when they did, it was too late. It was too late. It's funny because you go on Twitter after that missed extra point, Browns fans are like, that missed extra point is going to come back and kick us in the butt, isn't it? And sure enough, it always does. It does. Yeah, so defense looked good. Offense was humming. Can't blame either one of those sides. There's only one person to blame, and it's the kicker. He had just one simple job: put the ball between the uprights. That's all you gotta do, right? But alas, didn't do it. So yeah, let's move on. And earlier today, we actually got some restructure news. As Daniel Oyafusi once again on Twitter from earlier today, and I quote, "The Browns recently restructured cornerback Denzel Ward's contract, as at Jack Duffin noted, converting his $13.5 million in 2025 base salary to a bonus. Cleveland now has a little under $18 million in cap space per over the cap." Okay? So, real quick, as I pull up some other stuff here, real quick, let's actually pull up over the cap and see where that puts us when it comes to salary. Right? Sometimes I'll do this where I'll be filming a video and I just think of something on the spot. I mean, we're only going on 13 minutes in the video, not that long. But yeah, see, it has me thinking, well, it has some Browns fans thinking, oh my God, is Andrew Berry going to make a move? I doubt it. Knowing Andrew Berry's history when it comes to in-season moves, it would take a catastrophic injury to a starter for him to go out and either sign or trade for somebody. He just doesn't do it like that, right? And I mean, he could be extending somebody, but during the season, interesting. Yeah, I don't think he's just going to roll it over to next year. Now, according to Over the Cap, let's see where that puts us. See if I can find it here. Oh, here we go. Cap space right here. Let's see. So for 2025, let's see if it's updated yet. Yeah, we're at 17.9. Just behind the Bucks and just ahead of the Vikings. And we have 79. Is it 79 players on the active roster, pretty much? Or something like that? Or signed? Now, next year, I believe we have like 35 players. Like that are I think, signed for next year. Or it says 45. Let's see what Over the Cap has for us next year. Unless I'm doing this all now, whether you like it or not. All right, so next year, of course, you have Deshaun still under contract, although I think next year's is last year. Miles, and then of course Denzel, Heller, Batonio, and Joku are all void base salaries. Judy's got 1.5, Posix a void. Of course, you have Graham and Delpit, $1 million base salary. And then Conklin a void. Malik Collins 1.3 base. JOK a 1.2 base. Shelby, Flacco, and Tevin Jenkins are all on void deals. Swessinger, of course, Judkins, obviously. Joe Tryon and Devin Bush are also on voids. But they have signing bonuses. So that's interesting. Okay. Interesting. Now let's shift over to this game coming up on Sunday in Baltimore. And of course, we got to start off with the series history, right? And yeah. Baltimore leads the series 37-15. Cleveland's last win came week 8 last year. Of course, that was in Cleveland. And then Baltimore beat the Browns. In fact, they beat the brakes off the Browns in the last game of the season against Bailey Zappi. Yeah. Now, getting to the keys to victory for the Browns on Sunday. Yes, there is a chance that we can win, but we'd have to play the game of our lives to do it. But yeah, it's essentially play keep away. You win the time of possession battle against these guys on Sunday, you have a great chance to win. You do what you did against the Bengals when it comes to, controlling the clock and stuff. Long drives, give your defense a chance to rest. I mean, that was the first time in a while that our defense was actually not really gassed heading into the fourth quarter. I mean, the defense late in that game, man, they were humming. They were still going strong. If the Browns can just simply do what they did against the Bengals, which will be tough because the Ravens have a very good defense. If they go out there and they win the time of possession battle, they had the ball 11 minutes more than the Bengals. They do that against the Ravens, I think they can win. As long as they just avoid the dumbass penalties. And if the running game can get going, I like our chances. Now, it's funny because earlier today, I looked at the spread for this game. It was Ravens by 12 and a half. It's now down to Ravens 10 and a half. And the over-under is down to 44 and a half. Interesting. If you know anything about this rivalry, even though we haven't had a lot of success, we do play the Ravens incredibly tough, especially at home. But the last couple games, aside from last year in Baltimore, we've played these guys very, very tough. I mean, if you don't count last year, the last time we played these guys in Baltimore, we beat them. 2023. Yep, we beat them. It was like forever ago, but yeah, it was only 2 years ago. And if I know this Browns team, they're gonna come out feeling good. Yeah, it was an excruciating loss last week. But if you're the defense and the offense, you have nothing to hang your head about because they put us in position to win. The kicker has to make his freaking kicks. Do what you're supposed to do. Do what you're paid to do. It's that simple. I mean, you could say the offense and the defense together served up a W. It was right there. Freaking kicker. It's always something, right? It's always freaking something. Well, yeah, it wasn't just the kicker. The interceptions also didn't do us any favors. Yeah, but the defense rebounded both times, pretty much. Let's see what happened after those interceptions. I'm pretty sure they scored a touchdown off for one of them, though. Let me see. Aside from that, yeah, they did pretty well. Okay, so we held them to 3 off of one interception, and then the other interception was led to a punt. We only allowed 3 points after the interception. And keep in mind, the ball was, I believe, in our territory. Yeah, the interception happened right around the. Let me see here. Right at the 19, I believe, is when it was where it was thrown. It's freaking crazy, man. Oh, wow. And just look at the score, and it's like, man, we should have won this freaking game. Joe Flacco did great. I mean, yeah, throwing the ball 45 times is really not what you want to do, but our run game was ineffective. Now, for anyone wondering, are we going to see Quinshawn Judkins this week? Kevin Stefanski was like non-committal about it. He's like, well, we'll see how practice goes, which makes sense. Got to see how he looks on the field before you say he's going to play. If I had to guess, I think he could play, but we'll see. I think we're more likely to see Michael Hall this week, though. Which, again, would be awesome to get either one, maybe both back. Essentially, the keys to victory: number one, play keep away. Do what you did against the Bengals when it comes to ball control and no turnovers. I saw this messed up stat where Kevin Stefanski is 15-6 in one score games where they don't miss any kicks. But then you look at games and one score games where they miss kicks and he stinks. Well, of course. Of course. And then number two, force mistakes and take advantage. If I remember correctly, there's been a couple games where the Browns were able to force mistakes off of Lamar Jackson. The most prominent one was back in 2019, where I believe we forced 5 turnovers. No, that was the game we lost, right? No, that was the game we won in Baltimore. We forced a crap ton of turnovers and we won. Actually, look that up. Holy crap. 2 games I'm thinking of. 2019, when Nick Chubb had that big run and Earl Thomas practically gave up halfway because he thought of his hamstrings. I didn't want to blow a hammy chasing down Nick Chubb. Yeah, I'm sure Ravens fans love to hear that. And then you got the 2021 game, right? Or was it 2020? There was a game where we forced a crap ton of turnovers, but we lost. Let me see. The 2019 game, we sacked him 4 times and forced 2 interceptions. And we blew him out 40-25. Baker Mayfield, 20 of 30 for 342 and a touchdown. Gee whiz. That's crazy. Jarvis Landry went off in that game too. Wow. They also fumbled a couple times as well. Ingram and Jackson fumbled. Yeah. What about the game a few years ago where we had a chance to, I think, tie or take the lead after a fumble? And I believe there was like a offsides or one of our guys jumped early and that pissed everybody. Oh no, it was a snap. It was a snap infraction, I think. Yeah, every year it seems every couple of times there's some shenanigans that go on in Baltimore where we lose. But when we win, it's usually convincing. Yeah. When we beat Baltimore, it's always a rather convincing win. That's what I've found out. Yeah, guys, so we'll see how this one goes. But yeah, that's number 2. And then number 3, make your damn kicks. My God. In the NFL, every point matters. And it's even more evident now. If you have a chance to get points, get the damn points. Like, make your kicks. God. Extra points and PAT and field goals. Now, player to watch, I'm going to actually go the entire front 7 because they're facing Lamar Jackson. And we know him very well. We know what he does. Although we do have the one guy that can essentially make Lamar think twice about running with the ball. And that, of course, is Myles Garrett. The key for the front 7 is to stay in your lanes and shut down any escape routes. You have him running around like a chicken with his head cut off in the backfield, someone's going to get him. You surround him, you take out any escape route. Yeah, I like our chances. And then in terms of my prediction, I'm going Ravens 28-17. My God, Crazy Dog picked their opponent in his pick video. What is going on? Got to see this defense do what they did on Sunday again. Don't think we can beat the Ravens? Yeah. But they're going to be pissed off, as pissed off as we are. And I just don't know if we're going to be able to contain Derrick Henry. You know what's funny is when we played Derrick Henry in Tennessee, the only way we could stop him was to essentially force the Titans to throw the ball, essentially eliminating the run game. That's the only way we could beat them, pretty much. And when it comes to the Ravens, the same thing kind of counts here. But I mean, we've seemingly always been able to kind of stop Derrick Henry for the most part. I think this team is kind of built to stop him, low key. But these guys got to stay in their lanes and don't try to go for ankle tackles against Derrick Henry. He'll embarrass you. It's going to put our defense up to the test, and we'll see how Jim Schwartz and company react to it. So that's pretty much all I got. Damn near another 30-minute video. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you've made it through this entire video, be sure to give it a big thumbs up, subscribe, hit the bell, and I was thinking about going live tonight for the Guardian game, but I'm going to see how they do tonight. I'm probably going to go live tomorrow. We'll see, though. But yeah, with that being said, I'm Crazy Dog. Let's go, Browns. Let's shock the world on Sunday. Send the Ravens to 0-2. Not imagine. See you guys later. Go Browns. I'm Crazy Dog, and I'm out. And of course, people are going to say, oh, you picked against the Browns. You don't believe them anymore. I mean, it's the freaking Ravens. We always have trouble beating them in Baltimore. We've beaten them in Baltimore 6 times. Ever? Yeah, we'll see how things go. Yeah, guys. See you later. Bye bye.